No, I think we all agree assisted or automated driving has long been a dream of the automotive industry. And we've been talking about this at many IAAs. Yeah? But this year is the year where it's really coming to reality. And I think what we observed in the past, advanced driver assistance systems were always or very often a privilege for premium buyers. That was quite an expensive technology. Either you only got it in the upper car classes, or even in a Model 3, it's quite an expensive feature. Yeah? And it's a given that Volkswagen Group, who always brought technology to the people, is aspiring to change this. Yeah? We want to make technology, we want to make ADAS technologies accessible to everyone. Tech for the people, this is also the motto here. And I think it's no longer the question, does ADAS and does advanced automated driving like level 2 plus, level 2 plus plus, level 3, does this go mainstream? It's more the question when exactly and especially how. Yeah? Who will dominate the industry? Who will be on the strategic control points? Who will earn the margin? Yeah? And this is the game that's currently running, and we brought together probably the most profiled experts globally. Luckily, all of them are working with Volkswagen Group, and I would like to start with the CEO of Qualcomm, with Cristiano Amon. Cristiano, where are you? Now, here's Cristiano. And he's joined by, I start with you, Olli, yeah? The CEO of Volkswagen Group. Thank you very much, Cristiano.
How are you doing?
CEO of Qualcomm and a great partner.
Hi, Peter.
Yukai, CEO of Horizon Robotics, great IPO, great technology.
Thank you.
The man who's leading ADAS from a board perspective for all the brands. Yeah? Geoffrey Bouqout, the CTO of Audi, and Mathias Pillin, CTO of Bosch Mobility. Please take a seat. And Olli, we'll start with you.
Yeah.
Great technology at Volkswagen Group starts with strategy, and you made a couple of statements. I think the statements were always quite bold that you made. Yeah? You always said ADAS cannot remain a premium toy. Yeah? You always said we will win this game if we create platforms, like we always did. You said it's a scale game, and you always said let's make sure that we have access to all the data, because data makes an ADAS stack smart. Yeah? Now you've announced the tech driver strategy. And we want to control this technology somehow, but we want to be at the forefront of the industry together with our partners. So how does this all fit together? We want to own it, but we are also partnering, and we want to make the brands happy. What's your take?
Yeah, as we discussed this morning, our clear ambition is to be the automotive tech driver globally. And their autonomous driving is one discipline of our decathlon, as I call it. And to be best there, it's about speed, it's about performance, and it's about cost, and at the end, innovation. No? Because we won't stop, and there is a high innovation speed right now, and the customer demand is rising, and we think in some years it won't go without autonomous driving. And on the other side, for us, and that's a challenge, we want to provide mobility for everybody, yeah, and not only for a premium segment. And so, therefore, we built our strategy for autonomous driving and thought about who will be the right partner for us to have being on the top level of innovation, but also having the speed, and who fits perfectly to us. And it's also a people game. And so we came to great partnerships together with Bosch, with Horizon Robotics, with Qualcomm from the technology level. And for us, it's important to benefit from this innovation speed, and on the other side, owning the IPs. And so we built our joint ventures together, and I think now this fits perfectly together with our group software stack. We presented this morning, that there's a clearness, orientation, structure, where we do find each approach into our strategy.
And I think this is really a testament of technology strategy, leading in technology, bringing in partners. But in the end, it needs to taste well with the customer. I mean, Geoffrey, you have a kind of a double role in the Volkswagen Group. Yeah? On the one hand, you're the godfather for ADAS technologies across our group software stack, and need to make sure that technology is great. On the other hand, you're the CTO of Audi, and you're bringing back, I may say that, Vorsprung durch Technik. Yeah? And it shouldn't be just a safety feature, it should be something that reflects also the identity of the brand. So how does leading technology and the identity of the brand, how does that fit together?
It's a two sides of the same medal, I should say. When we think about ADAS, we can be super technical. We're talking about automatic emergency braking, lane assist system. So it can be super technical. But in the end, we could also discuss about LiDARs, software-driven, I don't know, radars or things like that. This is not the point. The point in the end, we want to create an experience. And this is where indeed the two, let's say the two roles are merging, because we want to have an experience. And the experience in the end is, do you feel this system to serve your needs whenever it needs to be? So with AI, and I think we are going to see that even more and more as we advance into this AI development and this AI disruption that we're living, how it can be adapted, how it can be empathic, how it can be intuitive. Those are the words that we want for serving our customers. ADAS safety features is nice, safety is absolutely critical, but then once you start creating trust with your customer, then it becomes a desirable product. And this is where, from Audi, so we launched this week Concept C car, and our design language, which is driven by clarity, which is driven by technicality, and emotion driven by intelligence. Those are exactly how we want, from an engineering side, design this. So it's a mix of software, obviously, but also how you want to create that. It's not like a beep. It's not like a haptic button. It's a full experience. If you want to have this ADAS level 3 system that we are developing and testing as of now, if you want to have that real and not just a technical topic, you have to have a full experience. So you have to have voice, you have to have an interaction that is becoming intuitive and empathic.
Mm. Building on what you said, Geoffrey, Mathias, I mean, we are working together in the Automated Driving Alliance. That means our engineers are creating code together into the same repository. They're really working together. And your role is very often to remind us what's going on technology-wise in the world and what's going on from a customer side. So the two sides of the coin that Geoffrey just mentioned. So what would you say on these two sides? What are the top trends, and are we together on the right way?
Yeah. I would also subscribe to what you said, Geoffrey. So customers would like to have first comfort. Comfort means, for example, you're driving at night in a new city like in Shanghai or in Rome, and you're merging adaptive cruise control with navigation. So you basically can really drive relaxed in completely new driving scenarios, and you're getting really a lot of comfort to get there. Second is safety. So you're driving high speed on a freeway, and the ADAS function allows you, if your children distract you from driving, that still the vehicle is being kept on the road. And this is what customers really would like to see globally. And therefore, of course, the functions we develop need to be extremely mature and extremely reliable. So that's mandatory. Then the third one I see is, of course, technology. I mean, AI is at the core of the ADAS functions, and it has made so much progress over time in recent years, so we can really now benefit from that development, and maybe we can talk later a little bit more about that. And if you talk about the trends, I mean, it's clear that the lead market for ADAS currently is China. And that's because those OEMs have been more, say, courageous to adopt these functions. Their platforms had been made ready at an earlier stage, and also to say they had more fun to adopt this technology, acknowledging all the risks coming along with that. So that was basically speeding up the development. But what I see here, and what you can see at the show here at this booth, but also at others, now this is really catching up. That's a global trend, and I believe for an OEM it's a big differentiator to have functions like that in place.
Matthias, you just said it, the lead market is China. And very often when you, Geoffrey, and myself sit together and think, are we on the right track, and how do we explain to Olli that we're on the right track, we always think, what's going on in China? Is there something new? And always when we visit you, Kai, in China, we're really excited what's going on. We are operating a joint venture in China, CARIAD, between CARIAD and Horizon Robotics, developing also our own stack for China there, based on AI. You're one of the best AI experts in China from study times, also with your company right now. And we see so many technology trends in China. We see cars packed full of sensors and with high compute power. We see cars that drive really well, mapless, few sensors, really lean compute. We see cars in the below 20,000 euros segment with level 2++ coming. So what are the top trends? How can we learn from China, and how can we bring technology forward together?
Right. I think we have this great partnership with Volkswagen. I think it's really a rewarding journey for us. And talking about China, I think we are saying, oh, China speed. Is China the competition? Everything is like crazy in the business world. But I don't really think from the competition standpoint, but really think about you got to have some vision. You got to have some strong belief about technology will change people's daily life, will change the world. So the technology never grow in a linear way, right? It's always exponential. Think about over the last 10 years, the cost for LiDAR actually reduced by how much? 1,000 times, right? And think about the computing power for cars, for ADAS, over the last 10 years, grow by 1,000 times. So the autonomous driving, I believe, today is like a driver assistance. But I guess according to the progress of AI, let's say our own experience of our technology team, I believe in 3 to 5 years, we will reach the level of like a completely, ISOF, namely level 4 in China. So I'm very, very convinced and a strong belief about the technology trend. Then this is about the vision. The other part is action. You got to relentlessly push the boundary of innovation and leading the trend. So that's the only way to survive in the business world. So we have to push the boundary of the computing power, the kind of software stack, and everything. So I think this is from vision to action, and that's the way to really lead the trend. And that's the kind of China speed.
Yeah, China's speed is something we are really on, and we are also trying to adapt with the whole Volkswagen group. I hope the decay of hardware prices that you just mentioned won't bother you too hard, because Cristiano, you brought Qualcomm really successfully into the automotive space, and I think one of your approaches was also partnering with other tech companies and with OEMs. You're active in China, you're active in the Western world very successfully, and you have different kinds of partnerships that you've experienced. What's your take? How should partnerships between hardware companies, software companies, automotive partners, how should they look like? And what gives us the best speed?
Yeah, well, it's a great question. I think, thank you for the opportunity to participate in this event. I think the Volkswagen Group partnerships have been wonderful. If you look at the success of Qualcomm in the many different industries that we have through our history participated in, and automotive is one that was kind of a new initiative for Qualcomm. And the success comes from actually the ability to be pushing technology as fast as possible to what's possible, but also create partnerships that we have more than one company responsible for the innovation. We never believed that the job of a company is to provide the single innovation for the entire industry, but actually get the best of each partner. For example, in our programs, it's about understanding the role that we can bring to the table, the role of Volkswagen bring to the table, the role of a tier one bring to the table, because we all very focused on what is the best that we can bring into the product. And I think that's a model of partnership with joint development. I think, for example, a strong tier one role in doing the integration, the system level optimization, build the platform that is unique to each customer requirement and experience. So you build this into something that is flexible, it's scalable, and then the ability to actually share technology so we can continue to improve the platform over time. And I think we see the role of data, for example, when you think about assisted driving systems. And I think that has been the approach that we all should take as an industry, because this is going to be an essential function of the automobile going forward. And the expectation is success today does not mean success tomorrow, and that means we have to continue to improve the platform with the best of each partner can bring to the table.
Yeah. And I mean, we believe in ecosystems, in the German and European ecosystem, in an auto ecosystem, and now in an auto tech ecosystem. And to be honest, also the different partnerships always inspire us to ask the right questions. I mean, we are also partnering with Mobileye, for example, for the level 4 autonomous ID bus, the partnerships in different areas. And this is already around Volkswagen Group, a really inspiring ecosystem. And what came up very early was the discussion about AI. Yeah? I remember when we asked ourselves, will AI be the real big game changer? And we realized it's even more. Yeah? It opens up totally new possibilities. And I think, Kai, you as one of the AI pioneers also in this round, also from a scientific perspective, can you elaborate a bit why AI has changed automated driving so much?
Yes.
How we're using it today? Is it safe? How does it go along with regulation? And what role will it play in the future?
Right. So I think we are undergoing a tremendous technology revolution. So think about the last few decades. Like Marco Anderson said, software is eating the world. And now we are enter a new area, which is AI is eating the whole world. So I think about the software industry. I think the last few decades we call software 1.0. The 1.0 is essentially rule-based, based on all the logics, right? And the traditional autonomous driving also really rule-based. And if you're sitting in the autonomous driving car, like the trajectory planning and control based on rule-based, you can clearly feel this is driven by machine. Right, it's not natural, it's not human-like. It's not giving you the confidence of like the safety margin, right? But now I think something dramatic is coming, which is the end-to-end training, something like the big language model, which is really completely data-driven, training-based, learning from human drivers. And then what's happening right now? You can clearly feel the new software 2.0. The AI-driven autonomous driving, very natural, very smooth. You feel like it's just like you driving the car. You give the sense of comfortableness.
We did that in Shanghai together, right?
Yes.
In our latest version, we were really impressed.
Very exciting. Yeah.
Yes. So I believe AI will change not only the autonomous driving, but also will change the in-cabin experience. So in my view, in the entire human history, actually, the first AI device is not cell phone. The first AI device is going to be car, with amazing, big battery, amazing computing power, very expressive acoustic, sounds, very expressive displays, right? So a lot of unimaginable things will happen.
I can see Geoffrey dreaming of it already.
Yeah,
It's a Vorsprung topic. Huh?
absolutely.
Yeah, so I think the innovation is just starting. It's just the beginning. A lot more will happen in the next 10 years.
Yeah. I remember our initial steps with AI. We said, all right, AI needs a lot of data. That's great. Volkswagen has a huge fleet. We have the largest connected fleet, 45 million cars connected to the group cloud, which we cleaned up a little bit, made the data better usable. That is also a foundation for our partnership to use that data to train an AI model. And we said, all right, AI models are huge. They will also run in the cloud. Now we are a bit further down the technology curve, and we're realizing AI should also run on the edge. And this morning, by the way, great quote from Wasim Ben Said of Rivian Volkswagen Technologies. He said, the secret sauce is integrating hardware and software to a seamless system. So AI on the edge, AI on the SoCs in the car. What role does that play, and should we all invest into it?
Okay, look, Peter, this is our favorite topic of conversation. I wish we have several hours to
That's
talk
why I
about
asked
this.
you, huh?
Yeah, but look, I'll try to provide maybe a simple way to understand this. I think one of the incredible things that are happening with the car right now, the car is a computing surface. And because it's a computing surface, we're going to get entertained from the car, we're going to communicate from the car, we're going to get productive on the car, we're going to do many things. The same way that the phone's a computing surface, the laptop's a computing surface. And AI is the new form of computing. When you think about the edge, here's an easy way to describe it. The data center's been built, and you use a lot of the data center to create AI. But once the AI is actually going to be utilized, and when you think, you need to go where the humans are, and the humans actually are at the edge. And there's an incredible amount of things happening all at the same time, in the car, in the phone, in the PC, in the robots, in the machines. One of the things that we feel very privileged sometimes is the ability to be providing technology to all of those industries. We see how they're actually working together. Like I love telling the story. The reason we got into the automotive business because we realized that people will buy a phone holder and put their phone in the dashboard of the car. And we said, okay, there's something here that needs to get fixed. And I think you should be thinking about the AI at the edge in the following manner. First, AI is the new computer-human interface. We had to learn how to use computers, not anymore. The computer knows how to interact with us, whether it's what we see, what we hear, what we write. So think about the car as an example. Everything that the car sees, the cars can understand and can interact to us what's relevant to us. The second thing that is happening, the evolution of AI technology in itself is breaking down in cloud and edge. Techniques such as mix of experts, distillations, even chain of thought reasoning. As you start reasoning on AI, you can actually start on a small model, go to the big model. And the obvious thing is reliability. The reason we have all of this computing power put on the car, you have to rely, if the AI is driving for you, you have to rely on that computing power and the ability of the car to make decisions.
So if I go to Olli next time and ask for investment money for more compute power, what advice would you give them?
It should be a no-brainer. It should be a no-brainer. And here's how,
taken.
and here's
Keep that in mind,
Yes.
Geoffrey. Yeah?
and here's maybe the conclusion of this because it's important. I want to do a parallel. When one of the new categories of devices that we're seeing now getting significant scale is smart glasses, because it's very intuitive for the human when you use a glass, what you see, the AI will see. So when I look about all those sensors we're building in the car for ADAS, they can see the road, they can see the pedestrians, and they can help you drive, but they also see everything that is happening around you. So I think we're going to see an evolution of the architecture of AI at the edge, that not only are going to do the ADAS system, but it's going to be a key contributor for some of the in-cabin experiences that you're going to have that's all driven by agents. So I think we're just at the beginning. The future is bright, and I think car companies are sitting on a very important and strategic asset, which is the car, and it's going to be a unique experience for humans in this new computing surface enabled by AI.
That's a very, very strong statement. And there's one person who should especially keep that in mind. I see him in the audience sitting, Manuel Birke. He's the head of our global ADAS development. Now here's a clear task to you. Cristiano made, you're using his SoCs for our own ADAS stack. And I would put this in your target letter for 2026. Matthias, of course, also Robert Bosch has a share in the success of that development. Yeah. We are working on these AI-capable SoCs, and we kind of turned around the technology approach. I said this morning, fail fast, fail well is an important principle in technology development, and we realized we need to jump on the next technology S-curve. Yeah? What exactly did we do, and how did that work?
Yeah, well, maybe let me start a little bit earlier. So I know AI since my student days when networks of 50 neurons were still considered to be really hazardous. And I really like AI. And just looking into the advancements AI has made over recent years, it's clear it's inevitable to use that. So what we brought into our partnership is now our latest AI methods using foundation models, using transformer technologies and all that thing, because really our ambition here is to really get to the next level. And you know, Peter, what I really like about the partnership between a technological FI and Tier 1 and an OEM is AI can do a lot. But if you bring AI into a car is a safety critical device. And as such, and in my history, from my history, I know AI does mistakes because AI is an empirical system. And regardless how much data you use, if you do supervised learning, reinforcement learning, all that stuff, you still cannot prove that the system is 100% reliable. So I think if you go for level 2 plus driving functions, the ones we described before, that's really perfect. And we are now really at the leading edge. But the flavor in our partnership is really an OEM understand what a car needs to do, what safety requirements are in there, and to develop that together beyond level 2. That's a real big advantage of our partnership. And I think really use the latest AI methods, but still make it industry specific and make sure that the device has superior quality and superior reliability.
I think that's a really important point. I mean, I get approached a lot also on trade shows like this by startups that said, oh, we built up something autonomous. Look, it's driving already. And when we're then talking, what about safety? What about security? Are we able to homologate it? Would you sign that the customer is really safe? That's a different story. And this is how we are very systematically building up the technology we are creating, because in the end, it will be the brand promise of an Audi, for example, that stands behind it, Geoffrey. So for many customers, AI is a bit abstract. Sometimes it's even intimidating or it's intransparent. How do we bring them emotionally closer to the car? How do we elevate this as part of the brand experience? How do we create a seamless experience that they love their AI functionality in the ADAS stack?
I think we have to start with measuring the power of AI and listening to those experts of the industry about AI. It's like the horsepower of a car from what we used to do. So we see more and more, let's say, manufacturers and ourselves now pushing and advertising the fact that, yeah, my car has not only 1,000 horsepower, it also has 1,000 tops or 2,000 tops soon, something like that. So it's also, let's say, betting on the power of this incredible calculation power. That's the first point. Once you have done that, as you said, I mean, it's a car. So it's a safety-regulated environment. We don't want to do anything that is not creating trust. So once you have that embedded, then you say, okay, technically, do I trust my system first, from a technical point of view, before releasing, as you said. And we're heavily and intensively working with you guys how to make sure that we have a system that is redundant, explainable on each and every part of the what we call sensing, planning, acting. So all the value chain of what we mean by ADAS and automated driving, how we make sure that we understand and it's safe. This is a technical approach. It's not, as you said, the one that we want in the end from a customer. Then we're creating trust. How to create trust? First, to make sure that it behaves like it should behave. So there should not be words. So it's super difficult to say, I want to write thousands of requirements, because that's not the point. The point is, I want to drive, and we drive intensively with you guys how to mimic the human behavior, which is the end-to-end reinforcement learning that we're using now in order to push the boundaries. So you start then feeling confident. So then you, as a driver, non-driver, then you start to do something else. On level 3, you can work, you can relax, watch a movie, you can do things like that. But you won't, at every time, at least this is the experience, when you start having confidence, you still want, if something happens, you want your machine to explain to you what happened. Why didn't you stop? Or why did you not accelerate or change lanes? And then the system should instantly explain to you, well, because I saw a red truck just behind me driving at 140 kilometers per hour, and it's not the right moment for me to change lanes. This is creating trust by this, let's say, thinking and interaction transparency that the machine with AI can adopt, essentially through voice, but this is part of the system that we want to push forward. This is part of the first trust boundaries. And once you have created that, then we can start really creating the creating experience, which is not something related to a car, but which is where you guys, I mean, you are robotics, Horizon Robotics. That means this is the research field that is being developed all over the sectors. I mean, as you said also, Cristiano, it's not something that is car related. It's human-machine interface. How do I create trust? And how do I see the 7 layers of understanding? I know that you know that I know that I know, etc. And this is something that we need now to develop. All research and Audi and Volkswagen Group who are really pushing the boundaries from a car experience to make that happen.
So you're saying it's not just the car that's driving, but the passengers are much more interacting with the ADAS system.
Yeah.
Is that technologically possible?
Yeah, it is possible.
Do we see it in China already?
For sure.
Oh, Geoffrey, everybody confirms what you're saying.
We're doing that.
We just need to develop it, right? Yeah. So there is a lot of alignment, which is always easy for a group CEO if everybody's aligned. Fine, you have an easy job. But the question is there really a single playbook for ADAS? Or do we need different playbooks for different world regions, probably for different vehicle segments? What's the guidance you're giving on this as a global CEO for a tech group?
Yeah, Volkswagen Group is a global player, and we have 13 brands, strong brands, and we have around 9 million new customers every year. That's huge. And being a global player, I can tell you I'm very proud having so strong global partners on board as you from America, from China, from Germany, and also to mention our partner Mobileye from Israel. And our leading goal is...
Geoffrey is from France, by the way.
Yeah, but Geoffrey is in-house. Yeah, but how we are sitting here, no? That's so international. And so, but our leading goal is to excite our customers. And how to excite our customers is first hitting their expectations. And our world has changed, and it's no more obvious to deliver one standard all over the world. The expectations in the different regions of the world is different. And therefore, for us, it was important to choose the right partner for the right product in the right region. Yeah, and when you come from the customers, we have also a world which is regulated. Yeah, and therefore we need the experts in the regions who know to play the regulation. If not, we are losing in complexity. Yeah, it's another aspect. And as a global player, we think global, but we act and win locally. And therefore, we need the speed and the innovation, and to hit especially the conditions we do have in the different regions of the world, and to make a system ready. It's easier to do it in the regions with the knowledge, experience of the regions, the context we do have, the close contact to the customers, and then also the loops we are doing there being quickly. And therefore, we decided a very clear strategy where to go in this terms of autonomous driving, but for the single projects and approaches to work with different partners, but all of them playing in the world class. That is for us the main criteria, and then acting and thinking globally.
So you said it, you're all playing in Champions League, and we discussed it a couple of times. We don't need to score every goal, but we're playing to win. Yeah? We're playing to win. And this is also the foundation for the last question round. I was thinking I will ask you a question that I'm interested myself. Yeah? And the question is, look at 2030. Yeah? Every car on the road will have some ADAS system in it. Yeah? What will truly differentiate the leaders? Yeah? So what do you need to do to lead? What is the differentiating factor of those who will lead that market? Maybe Mathias, we start with you, and then we go around and end with you.
Yeah, well, it's a very smooth function, available day and night in every region of the world. Customer is really satisfied. Second is that you as OEM can choose the most suitable and cost-effective sensor set and compute power you need. And last is we go beyond to level 3 and level 4, and we have found solutions for that one.
So, Geoffrey, what will differentiate leaders? Is it metrics? Is it safety? Is it functionality, updatability, cost advantage, or all of the above?
I would say, of course, all of it. To create the experience and to make that happen, we have, as an OEM, to make sure that we control all the points. And this is something where, I mean, Cristiano, you mentioned the multi-sensorial aspects of the car, how we design that with all the multi-agents. And this is something, as an OEM, where you want to make sure that you differentiate a good experience by understanding the orchestration of all those very complex stuff. So not only the hardware, but also the software powered by AI.
Kai, what do you think for China, but also, I mean, you're becoming a more and more global company, also from a global perspective?
Yeah, I think first of all, open collaboration. To build the open ecosystem partnership is always healthy for innovation. So for example, I can share, I mean, of course, we have amazing collaboration with Volkswagen. We also have amazing collaboration with Bosch. And recently, we worked together on a big project from a Japanese car maker for their market, in Indian market. So this is an amazing story. A China tech company worked with a German, automotive gigantic supplier for a Japanese OEM and then for Indian market. So I think that's the world we should embrace. That's the future we should create. So open collaboration is just healthy and benefiting every ordinary people. In the end, I hope, so the technology, like the best autonomous driving technology is not just for premium cars. I think it should benefit in every ordinary people, every corner of the world. That's our dream.
But is it then maybe a different success factor for every market and every sector? Because in Europe, it's more like compliance with regulation.
Yes.
In China, it's features. In India, it's cost.
Yes. Actually, that's exactly why you guys should play in China. Because China is the perfect playground. I think the Chinese consumers, they are more kind of forward-looking, risk-taking. So they are embracing new product, new technology. Remember, in the mobile business, I think Qualcomm probably a big chunk of your business in China. Because the consumers just, so open to embrace the digitalization, the digital experience, all the kind of like AI product. So I think China right now probably, let's say, like the safety-driven ADAS is phasing out in China. The single camera solution is quite standard here, but in China, no longer, any car adopting that technology. People are actually all looking to, the higher end, like urban autonomous driving, no longer like a highway autonomous driving. So I think come to play in China. So here you can build your technology, get it very mature, and eventually, I believe this is not just the trend in China. It's going to be mega trend in global, because as a human being, we share something in common. We are all lazy, And if there's something amazing, driving from A to B, perfect way, I think everyone will love that.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is really true. We can learn a lot in China. I think Ralf Brandstätter, your board colleague, once said it, because Volkswagen Group is the only OEM who has not only production in China, but also full vehicle development, software development, ADAS development.
Yes.
He said it's like the best gym, and Volkswagen Group has the gold membership to it, and we can go there and train. Yeah? That's what we're doing. So
that's an analogy actually invented by Oli.
And I mean, Cristiano, what will differentiate the leaders from the laggards in 2030? Of course, you will say a Qualcomm SoC, but apart from that, what will differentiate leaders from laggards?
Look, often in questions like this, I think we talk a lot about technology and different aspects, I think, of the hardware and software. I'm going to answer this question a little bit different. And I think when you think about the ADAS and what's going to differentiate the companies that are going to deploy it successfully, deploy it across all their vehicles, and will be successful, are different things. We're going to have to do a lot of the work on the technology behind the scenes. But actually, it's a simple way to, the answer to this question is very simple. There are three. There are three points, and they're all equally important. You cannot prioritize one versus the other. The first is trust, I think, as Bosch said. Think about the transition of the industry to drive-by-wire. There was never a question, are you going to trust the steering wheel or are you going to trust the brake? Of course you have to trust the brakes and the steering wheel. It will be not acceptable if that wasn't the case, even though it was drive-by-wire. So the customers are going to have to develop this trust with the system, because it's going to be no different than trusting a steering wheel or brake. Trust is the first one. The second one is consumer experience. And I have an easy way to describe that to you. Humans today, consumers of your cars, they understand today two scenarios. I am driving or somebody else is driving. If you call a cab, if you call an Uber, if you have a driver, that person is driving, you're not driving, or you're driving. Assisted driving is somewhere in the middle. We're both driving. So then you have to build the perfect customer experience that the customer will appreciate this new experience the machine is driving with you. And I think that's why customer experience is incredibly important in differentiating. And then the obvious one is safety. Otherwise, there's no purpose in doing this. So those three things is going to really define, I think, the winners and losers when you think about this future of this technology in the cars.
So I think this is, we've now heard the recipe for victory, Olli. Yeah? What's your take out of that? How will winners look like in 2030? How will we win the Champions League?
Yeah, bringing all your comments together, and you know, our ambition is by 2030 to be the automotive tech driver, and therefore this play a big role. And I'm very confident together with you to deliver. But to be the automotive tech driver, this is not a goal by itself. It's everything about to excite our customers. And so my principal goal for 2030 is very simple, but very challenging at the same time, to have the most excited customers around the world, over all cultures and in all regions, over all segments.
So I think making customers happy, exciting customers is a great mission for a global tech driver. I think we all can be very proud to be part of that mission. And it's not just a mission, it's a movement that we've already started. Yeah, we're working on it every day. That's the purpose why we're going to work every day. Very much looking forward to be on that journey together with you and of many with you in the room. Thank you for listening and enjoy the next panels. I think the next is on infotainment. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.